Hey, it's Becky from Cronin's Clips, and like and subscribe to our channel for more travel tips, accessibility while traveling tips, that kind of thing. But I'm going to talk about today some things that maybe not talked about as much. Some of them may be a little more common, but tips for some more comfortable Amtrak trip, things that maybe we did right or maybe we did wrong, but just something to keep in mind. I got about 6-7 tips here that you could keep in mind when traveling on Amtrak. So the first one is to have some kind of, if you like a softer bed, the bedding, if you're doing that overnight Amtrak trip in a roomette or a bedroom, family bedroom or whatever, the bedding is just not soft. It's so hard. I felt it was. I mean, if you're used to hard bedding, I'm sure it's fine. But when we traveled, so we took the Sunset Limited from Lake Charles, Louisiana to Tucson, Arizona, and then back this past summer, back from Maricopa, Arizona to Lake Charles, Louisiana. And on our way back, we actually brought a mattress pad. So my husband had been looking at getting one for camping anyway. So he brought that for him. What I did was we had the family bedroom, so we had extra blankets just in the room, and I put a bunch underneath my bedding. I think the kids may have doubled up a little bit on there or put their blanket underneath them, just to make it a little more soft. So if you can get one of those blow-up mattress beds, just something really small, it can really help get a good night's sleep on an Amtrak train. Another tip that you may have thought of, but it's just to, if you're able, get out and walk at those fresh air breaks. I have trouble with my knees and ankles from arthritis, and I didn't really always want to do the stairs with those fresh air breaks. But if you have longer than 15 minutes, or some of those big cities, you're going to have a decent sized break. If you can get up and walk around, because you can walk on the train, but you're always holding onto walls and it's moving around. You're not really going to get much walking in there. So if you can get out on those fresh air breaks, it just kind of helps break up that just from sitting there in the train. Another tip is, so of course we traveled in the summer. We were traveling from Louisiana to Arizona. It was hot, and the train isn't really, it's got air conditioning of course, but it's not that strong. So a fan would have been helpful, like especially on a stand. I think I had a little handheld fan with me, but in the family bedroom especially, I think is in that corner. If we closed the door, it got really warm. If I left the door open, it was much, much better. I think the AC must have been in the hall somewhere right there. And even in the roomettes, so we were in a roomette on the way there, and if you left that door open, it was so much cooler. But if you of course want to close that door at night with the curtains and stuff. So getting some kind of small fan on a stand would have been helpful. At least for us, it would have been helpful. Of course, this one, I mean, everybody knows this about Amtrak, but just plan that your train is probably going to be late, maybe a couple hours, maybe more. So just don't count on it being on there. So if you have any plans, of course, or you're going to get in at a certain time, just plan to be late. Another tip would be, so the meals are really great. For the most part, I think they tasted really good. You're not going to get much fresh fruit. Now you will get some vegetables with your dinner, some green beans. There is some things as far as like fiber goes or whatever, something that's a little bit healthy. And if you get the salmon, that's pretty good. But if you need those fruits and vegetables, I would suggest, especially you have somebody that needs a lot of fiber, bring some dried fruit, even just some of those applesauce packets, something that kind of breaks up the sweets. You could dessert with lunch, you could dessert with dinner. These are big desserts. They're delicious. They're big though. I couldn't even eat my whole butter cake because it was so sugary. I just feel like, when I got off the train, I just felt like, oh, I'm really full. I haven't walked and I haven't eaten many fruits and vegetables. I guess there was some berries on the French toast. That was pretty good, but not, it's not a ton or anything. So pretty much just getting vegetables. If you've got kids with you that don't eat vegetables, they're not getting any of those fruits and vegetables. So That would be my suggestion, was bring some of those dried fruits if your kids like the dried apricots or the tropical ones, or just those applesauce packets. Another tip that I had was to bring a hanging bag for like your toiletries, because in the bathroom is really tiny. I mean, you think of an airplane bathroom and then just like make it smaller, if that's even possible. So you don't really have a space. I did go into the shower room to like do some things at night, like to change my clothes and you know, just kind of freshen up with a washcloth and stuff like that. Just a little bit more room in the shower room than in the actual bathroom. But if you have something that has your toiletries on in it that's hanging, that's much easier than it is if you had to put it on a counter or something like that. Another tip, this one may come obvious, but there's only one plug in the room, so definitely bring some sort of multi-plug cube or charger or something like that. Even if there's only, you know, one or two of you in the room, in the roomette, of course there is, but just having that, if you want to charge multiple devices, if you want to charge at the same time, that just really comes in handy. So I hope you enjoyed these tips, and if you have any questions about Amtrak or anything else, leave them in the comments below. Like and subscribe to Cronin's Clips. Thank you, and remember, tomorrow is just a dream away.